dear lord, hold on to your hats, ladies and gents, because this second half be kicking off in a big way. Only Hanji would think it's a brilliant idea to go and introduce herself to the enemy like this. Love that woman. Also, guys and gals, please don't forget to leave a comment. The first part only got 800 or so, and yet my fans on Black Clover videos get a third of the views and smash 1,500 comments. So yeah, that would be amazing, and I'd really appreciate the help boosting the video. Not much to say. Attack on Titan just nailing shouting, which some anime struggle to do, as they really do sound like they're at distance in turn, and there's more to it than simply lowering the volume. Plot twist! I'm loving finally getting to witness the events which took place before episode 8 happened, and of course being able to see Sasha once again is a joy, to put it plainly. Hanji staying true to her character's intelligence even after 4 long seasons, as we see her tinkering and perhaps kind of reverse engineering a weapon to understand it better. Point being, I love how characters are the same even after so many episodes.
一つは島に放った無垢の巨人が最新鋭の兵器をもってしても未だ上陸困難な障害であること。現在マーレは複数の国と戦争状態にあり、パラディ島どころではないというわけです。
Understanding the reason why Marley hasn't invaded via a massive ground invasion with this super legit and logical reasoning.
マーレがエルディア人を壁の中に幽閉するための政策でした。逆に進軍からエルディアを守る存在となっていたの。らしいな。
Levi being Levi with extreme prejudice.
情報などと呼べるような代物ではありません。マーレにこ
Just shouting out the art style once again. I'm such a big fan of it. Probably this and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure are my favorites.
私たちはジーク・イエーガーの命を受け上官を撃った反マーレ義勇兵です。その目的は
I know this was revealed during episode 8, but yet again, for that plot twist, it deserves its own win in part 2. Nice touch showing Connie's expression here, since Zeke's attack during season 2 dramatically altered his life since it took his mother from him. Oh my word, I didn't realize how much I missed this dude in particular until I heard from him just now again. He was such a legend during season 1. This is so incredibly clever and it's getting a win. I'm sure I winned it previously during like season 3 when it was revealed, but heck, take another, as that storytelling is brilliant. Even though it was all part of the plan, it's so damn glorious getting to witness Armin turning into that Titan. Fairly up close, but still genuinely lovely scenery shot. Sasha doing very Sasha-related Sasha shenanigans. Lovely touch there as Armin covers his ears between Eren's shots. This scene building the coming events in which Eren declares war of his own accord while the others are sure there is a potential way forward to peace. This conversation is yet another example of Attack on Titan avoiding exposition by filling us in via the 3 friends talking things over here. Jesus, the exact same thing happening in their country, except in reverse. It's just really telling that if you give one group of people power over another and add in a reason to hate that group of people, that they'll do things exactly like this, so it makes them ultimately no better than them. That's incredibly sweet how her father is much the same as her in that regard, and it's good to get a final send-off for a character as well loved as Sasha was.
まずはそこでゆっくり休んでいただこう。なあ、睨むのやめてくれないか。
Zeke being genuinely terrified of Levi will never stop being a win, but I suppose his hatred will never die down since Zeke killed Erwin, the man who brought him out of the gutters all those years ago, and he's basically just waiting to end him one day now. The fact that these two are still alive, very sad to see the boy all banged up though, given that he never actually did anything other than be on the airship when it went down.
あの日の君たちのように。ねえ、ハニー。
They've been showing us this for some reason, bringing Annie back into it since the very end of season 1, and hopefully we'll see more of her before the very end.
戦わなければ勝てない。戦え。
Not gonna lie, Eren looks quite badass right here.
ね、戦えって言ってたんだよね。戦えって。何と戦うの？
Hanji has a way of making these situations seem incredibly tense without really trying all that hard.
戦えって2回言ったってことは2回戦があるのかな？
Also, shout out once again to their eyes. I don't think I've seen any other anime come close to animating such stunning looking eyes.
パラディ島唯一の友好国ヒーズル国、その特使清見あずま人。
Such tasty world building, I can't take it. Tell me more.
私も自分の子に託すように言われました。
Between this music, one of my personal favourites, and the excellent world building going on right here, I'm genuinely fully hyped up right now. Like, I cannot express just how much I adore stuff like this. Also though, what's even better is that Mikasa was already described by the villains who attacked her home as a child as Asian, and now finally we learn of this other country friendly to their island where her mother originates from.
その混乱の最中、将軍家の忘れがたみはこの島に取り残されたのです。あなたは我々が失った一国の主の末裔。
Oh dear God! Stand by! God level plot twist! Take 2 damn wins for this, maximum amount, I won't hear any different!
私たちは生まれのことで重い荷物を背負う者同士なんでしょ。ミカサが一緒ならこんなに頼もしい人いないよ。
かわいい。
まずはこちらをご覧ください。あれ、ご存知でしたか？マーレの機密案件でしたが。
I love how they don't just say they met with him and proceed to dump exposition on us. Instead, they take the time to carefully and delicately write out a 1-minute backstory's worth of dialogue and use that. I really appreciate their dedication to the storytelling, not to mention the entertainment factor.
こちらは地ならしでこの島を守るために必要な3つの過程です。まず1つ目は地ならしの実験的活用。
Learning the ins and outs of Zeke's plan to save their entire race and what that entails for future generations.
やっと生きることが許されるっていうのなら、俺はジーク・イエーガーの計画は到底受け入れられません。
Eren standing up for his ideals and morals, in that in order to live and be free finally, they shouldn't be yet again forced to treat one another as less than humans to obtain their goal.
当然思想を持つ俺を殺すこともできない。いくら脅したところでジークを殺すわけにもいかない。
Oh my goodness, seeing Eren like this in full for the first time where he's grown so much taller and wider is one of the best cases of aging I've ever seen in any anime, full stop.
ヒーズルを介して世界との対話を図るんだ。
Mikasa doing Mikasa related awesome stuff and everything.
決めなきゃいけない。俺の巨人の継承者を。
私が引き継ぐ。
お前じゃダメだろ。
I feel like Mikasa definitely wants it just purely so that she can keep Eren close to her one way or the other, especially knowing that he'll die eventually regardless.
いや、だからバカには任せられないってお前が言ったんだろ。お前は俺よりもバカなんだから、お前言ってることが矛盾してるんだぞ。
え？
だから長生きしてほしい。
はぁ？てめえ何赤くなったんだ。どうすんだよこの空気をよ。
Okay, they could take another one for that. That was incredibly sweet.
おい、ジョーちゃん大丈夫か
This brilliantly well done slow motion animation after the initial strike. There Then following that by the gut-wrenching realization that she had murdered him right there.
全て夢ならよかったのにな。
It's such a nice touch floating back and forth between the past and the present, and then also between the island before and now, and also the present day back here on the mainland. Just keeps things insanely entertaining, and the idea that the mangaka and the animators were able to so expertly juggle all those timelines is brilliant. I know a lot of people dislike her character for her actions, and I do too really, but I also look at the other side of the equation in how she was brought up under an oppressive regime, fought every day for her family's future, and now that's all been snatched away by her lifelong enemy. She's had her mind twisted since day one, and so struggles with the idea of being away from everything she knows, including the armband she started to wear with pride. But she still does feel for her comrades, like lamenting that he'll likely die for following her. Regardless, she's an interesting character all the same, and that's right up my alley. That scenery and colour palette is so incredibly appealing to my grateful eyeballs.
君たちか。家出したんは。どうしたコツかい?
Oh, of all the places to end up! Please don't let that end badly! Oh god, I can't take it! Genuinely!
志願しなっから全住民強制退去命令だって。ハンジさん、イエーガー氏がもたらした勝利により我々の未来は開かれた。
Instead of simply forgetting about all of these fairly prominent characters from older episodes, they bring them here to speak their piece on current affairs. And rightly so, since they were important to certain events unfolding as they did.
力がなければ何も守れないと。私たちは理不尽な暴力と戦っていいのだと学んだのです。あの日から少しでもあなたに近づきたくて。
Bruh, seriously, how awesome is that? To think to bring this girl back with a lesson from her past from way back in season 1. Man, that's clever. People you never think you'll see again.
Gabi! Gabi!
This!
君たちはマーレから来たんでしょ？
どうして？
どうしても何も。自分で叫んでたじゃない。
Ooh, didn't see that coming a mile off. Take a win as we proceed with caution.
ただここからあそこでお母さんが食べられる音を聞いてた。
This just got so much more tense because I know this scene. It's from season 2 and it's where Sasha of all people saved her as her mother was eaten. It was crazy good and now she's here. Wow. Also 50% of the win has to be for, just like I mentioned in win number 223 and 224, that this is yet another character brought back.
そこにあなたたちを連れて行けばマーレに帰る方法が見つかるかもしれない。どうして？私はお姉ちゃんみたいな人になりたいの。
Having Sasha live on like this through this girl and through her prior deeds is a lovely homage to her. I think ultimately it's just been handled so well in terms of how she passed and how people reacted to it and how it's changed a multitude of things. Her death wasn't a one-off shock to the viewer, it was almost used as a storytelling device, which true to form for Attack on Titan is so very clever. This change to the ED with a truly lovely song that's just got me proud to be in a position to be able to write about this wonderful anime, privileged to be around to witness it, and one day look back on it as a true masterpiece.
大打撃を受けたマーレ軍はすぐさま攻勢に転じることはないと。世界連合軍を待ってはいられません。今すぐにパラディ島を奇襲すべきです。
This bombshell being dropped right at the end of the episode, setting us up for something seriously amazing as the season comes to its conclusion.
んなことしないっての。兄も話し相手が私だけじゃ退屈でしょ。
Kawaii! And another character from the past. This is crazy and must be deliberate. The first third of this episode nicely details the actual plans which brought Eren to make the decision he made in secret. Meanwhile, we learn of the positions that this has put the others in her group into as mistrust begins to flourish where friendship once held firm. Again, I feel like this goes back to a previous win talking about how easily people turn on one another given the chance, even in spite of a wish to be better than your enemy.
義勇兵とエレンの接触が明らかになったからだ。
Correct me if I'm wrong, but is that not the chair he used on the fake king, I think it was, from season 3? If so, that's a nice and very weird addition to his office.
なぜアルミンの言う通り損はないはずなのにどうしてダメなの？
失礼します。
待ってよミカサ。大丈夫。バレないようにできる。今兵器違反を犯しちゃまずいよ。
Attack on Titan is working this season so well, especially when you consider that it's just 16 episodes. Yet they've managed to flit back and forth across the sea, past and present, dive into multiple characters' backgrounds, forward others' personalities, and all the while they're stoking the flames of a mystery as to what Zeke's ultimate plan is, gently moving things forwards, while also building the world narrative of distrust between these two races, how they interact with one another, the hypocrisy, the irony, and the coming war. It's stunningly well done, and they can take a maximum 2 wins for that.
何があっても私はエレンを。
My jaw is actually open. For real as I write this, and that's a rarity, let me tell you. I classify this as a GLPT, which is a god-level plot twist. I didn't see that coming a mile off. Take 2 wins, you deserve it all day long for that. This saying being used now by the budding revolution shows how twisted the whole situation has become since the hero Erwin once said it.
緊急事態です。エレン・イェーガーが地下牢から脱走しました。
ジークの居場所を特定する。
Eren's now famous coat putting on while looking cool related scene of coolness.
ハンジ、ジークの交流場所を知る者は？
現地で監視に当たるリヴァイと30名の兵士、そして補給と連絡を受け持つ。
Attack on Titan is so matter of fact when it comes to military things, very consistent also in how it avoids plot holes by thinking outside the box during the writing phase. Such as here, adding that 3 soldiers know their whereabouts because they deliver supplies, which makes total sense.
これはもうわしらの負けじゃ。エレンに降参しよう。兵団内部に敵を抱えておいてはどうにもならぬ。
Oh! Wow, he was actually being serious. I was withholding a plot twist win, thinking he must have been joking, but no, he's serious and explains why after this. Plot twist!
ただし、我々の親玉を殺された剣をここに不問とする。安かろう。
Really? He's a true soldier and leader, and he shows that right here, because instead of revenge being on his mind, he thinks firstly of his fellow soldiers' lives and of course the civilians he swore to protect.
この国がどうなろうと、あなた様だけはお守りいたします。
Mikasa hearing these words and knowing full well that they are true. One more win here for the end of the episode as the island's military begins to fracture, which is also such an amazing touch for the story as the full plan begins to slowly be revealed to us, and to say I'm excited for what's to come is an understatement of massive proportions.
ガス兵器というものだ。そのガスは俺の脊髄液を含んでいる。
Fully understanding now at long last how Zeke turned the villagers and those on board the plane in episode 1 into Titans, since I've been wondering why he couldn't simply use this shout on all of his enemies all of this time, and now it makes perfect sense. Well played.
ブラウスさんは兵士でもないのになんでここに招待されたの？お姉ちゃんはブラウスさんの娘で兵士だったの。私2人が恋人同士だったと思ってるけどね。
What an amazing way of putting this all together. I'm not going to go into it too deeply, but as I write this script, my wife and I are watching a show called Your Honor, and they come up with the world's biggest coincidences in order to move the plot forward, and yet here, everything is logical and set up beautifully. The only real coincidence here is that this girl found them by the lake after the escape, and that's not that big at all. She just lived near it, and the guard who was watching them spoke with the same accent as Sasha and her family, whose house they go to.
トイレに用はありません。ニコロさん。
私たちはマーレから来ました。戦士候補生です。
I'll be honest, when I started this scene, I completely and randomly forgot about Sasha and the connection. I think I was thrown off by the frantic grabbing of the wine from Jean and Connie and pondering if it was poisoned for the higher-ups in the military, and then this happened, and suddenly it was like a ton of bricks hit me, and it was one of those rare times where I physically react, this time by slightly biting my index finger in shock. Nothing short of perfect that scene was, my god.
マーレから退却する飛行船の中で、こいつがあなたの娘を。 サシャを撃ったんです。
This could not be any better! Help me!
人を喜ばせる料理を作るのが
His voice acting truly deserves its own win here, full of so much pain and panic, like his voice is almost cracking under the pressure.
私だって大事な人たちを殺された。そのサシャ・ブラウスに撃ち殺された。
ニコロ君、包丁を渡しなさい。
I cannot stop loving this entire scene. It's got some of the best variations of voice acting I've heard in one scene in a very long time. It's animated perfectly, and yet again, as I said before, it's using Sasha's death in the best way possible and not treating it as a cheap plot twist. I'm in awe, truth be told.
結局、森を出たつもりが、世界は命奪い合いを続ける巨大な森の中やったんや。
His wife immediately knowing without a doubt that he wasn't going to do anything to the girl and quite happily taking the knife from him and moving it away.
本当に私が憎くない。
So many goddamn plot twists! Can you calm down for 15 seconds and let a man breathe over here?
あのワインには何が入っていたの？
多分ジークの脊髄液だ。
The reveal there at the end that indeed the wine had been tampered with, by Zeke's spinal fluid of all things, as the plot twists continue, as I figured originally it'd just be plain old poison.
でもブラウスさん、あなたみたいにはまだ俺はなれないけど、これがせめてもの償いになれば、子供を殺すなんてどうかしてました。
Niccolo was turned out to be a very interesting character throughout the course of this episode, torn in his feelings between duty to his country and his new life here, the love he developed for Sasha, the rage he felt as she died, betraying his own country now in order to warn them of the plot, and his regret at his recent actions. Just really well written, paced out expertly, and intriguing to boot.
誰かとそっくりだ。
我々はジークの計画に踊らされているんだよ。
だとしてもバカな憲兵どもがでかいバカになるだけでしょ。
Not gonna lie, as tense as this scene is, that was a lovely little pun right there, and I gotta praise that. As this episode draws to a close, I just wanted to drop a final win onto episode 13 for the character growth of Eren. Probably one of the best I've seen from where he began as a young boy, wide-eyed and full of promise in season 1, all the way through to where he is now. It's one of the greatest, long character arcs I think I've ever seen put together in any anime to date. Actually making the effort to reflect the scene of the room into the glass on the clock.
あの時お前は死に直面する極限状態の中で俺の命令を聞いた。その瞬間、お前の本能が目を覚ましたんだろう。
So that's how she and why she. Oh my god! The mangaka thought that up all that way back during season 1. That is unbelievable. I can't say much else. I swear I could never hope to craft a story that's so consistent over so many years. I don't think most people could, in all honesty.
つまりは奴隷だ。
やめろ、エレン。
俺がこの世で一番嫌いなものがわかるか。不自由なやつだよ。お前が大嫌いだった。
It's genuinely heartbreaking to hear him speak this way about Mikasa after everything they've been through. I don't know if he's doing it for a specific reason. I hope that's the case, but regardless, it's hard to hear. And there it is. It's true, and now makes absolute sense why she reacts so incredibly quickly every time there's a threat to Eren, without a second's hesitation, and so much falls into place. Brilliant. Again, I'm utterly blown away by the crafting of this part of the story.
なんでかわかるか。
Just as heartbreaking as it was seeing him speak to Mikasa in that way, although she never jumped to defend him again after Armin attacked the second time, it should be noted, it's equally as hard for me to see him do this to Armin, his best childhood friend, and someone who saved his life more than once.
始まりの地、志願しなく。
Incredibly poetic to find themselves back in the same district where the whole story began all those years ago. Machine gun nest and throw your grenades!
一瞬体が痺れて、俺もだ。
私は何とも。
Attack on Titan is so stupidly great it should be ashamed of itself at times like this. One of my favourite things about early on in the anime was Unusual Titans. I can't recall their name, and this right here is a perfect example of that. Just gets my heart racing. Can't show certain bits, but this has become so intense. It's insane. And for the twist, the animation, the season 1 music, and getting to see Levi do his thing while once again taking on normal Titans, they can take 2 wins here. Levi freaking caught up! He's so sick! That sheer desperation in Zeke's voice as he really and truly does not want to have to fight Levi, as he knows full well what he's capable of. Amazing touch that as soon as he turned, he also immediately formed a crystal defense on his upper back to protect him in there, clearly learning the mistake from his previous battle. I'm so very happy to be in a place in my life where I'm witnessing this and writing about it. The joy I experienced seeing Levi once again take on the Beast Titan is immense, and just as good for me as the first time they fought in Season 3. Not gonna show it, but oh god, Zeke looked insanely messed up as his body desperately heals him on the verge of death. That was awful to see. Beautiful city landscape that must have taken forever to put together. With this 4-minute scene, they've achieved what I think was their goal, to have us the viewer have absolutely no idea where we should turn to in our own loyalties. They've balanced the scales wonderfully for both sides of the equation, and now each seems a pretty poor choice, albeit I do now agree more with Hanji and her lot. With just 2 episodes to go until the conclusion of the season, I cannot begin to fathom how it will all turn out. In all of anime, only one scene had ever caused me to recoil. That was the 1997 version of Berserk and the final reveal of Griffith. You can officially add this moment to that list. As much as I hate him for the things that he's done, I can't hate on him wearing those glasses to honour someone, and it made me feel sorry for him in this moment. Normally I only ever really win 1 scenery shot per video, but goodness me, that's so lovely looking and intricate, I can't ignore it. Just when I've been so utterly blown away by the anime diving into older characters, giving them some time in the sun once again before the anime wraps up, progressing so many other main characters at the same time, they go and give us a Zeke flashback. It's one of my favourite things about Attack on Titan, learning about the historical events. I swear, I could so easily watch a prequel series based on these kinds of prior events. I absolutely adore it. Animating multiple characters moving in one scene. Dear Lord, that's gut-wrenching. His son just wanted to play ball with his dad. Man, they're gonna go and make me well up. Yup. Oi! Sakana kimi, そのボール投げてくれないか。おお。まだ小さいのにやるじゃないか。おお、ジーク、どうも君は筋がいいな。 How this guy ended up becoming the figure Zeke so desperately wanted in his life. Zeke, お前ならできる。 The pressure a young Zeke must have felt upon overhearing his father speaking in their home and then seeing his dismay at his efforts in training must have been utterly brutal to the boy.
巨人の謎を知りたかったからさ。私は研究者だからね。全ては始祖ユミルが何かと接触したことから始まるらしいが、私はその時に起きたことを知りたいのさ。
I swear if they end up giving an explanation as to how the Titans actually came into being in the first place, I'm gonna freak out!
そうよ。これはあなたやエルディア人みんなの未来のための戦いだって言ったでしょ。そのためなら僕はフェイおばさんみたいになってもいいの。
Even though on the surface you can make the point that the young Zeke was making a silly argument, if you look even a little deeper, he's actually right in that he'd be forced into having a premature life, cut short if he becomes a warrior with just a 13-year lifespan.
草葉さん、キャッチボールしてくれてありがとう。巨人になっても時々思い出すからね。
Oh, shut up with that sweet talk, goodness me.
からマーレ当局に告発することでマーレに忠誠を示せば、君とソンウは助かるはずだ。
The realization that this is what caused that fateful moment to occur in the first place, and also that he wasn't using Zeke at all, but instead just really did feel sorry for him and ended up really liking him.
まさに私たちユミルの民はどこにいようと始祖の巨人の一部のようなものなんだ。
Oh, I need that prequel one day. Please, Lord, tell me more about the background to this story.
しかし、いつまでも騙し通せるわけもなく。私がエルディア人だと知った妻は
Going to cut it a little, but how they built the scene of him saying he once had a wife and a child by slowly creating the scene of his home when he found her dead is one of the most creative things I think I've ever seen an anime do.
私なんてこの世に生まれてこなければ。
獣の巨人は俺が継承する。
Him breaking down amid that stunningly emotional music made this scene incredible.
俺の手で巨人が支配した2000年の歴史にケリをつける。その日を迎えるまで進み続ける。
It's really hard to believe that this is really how Eren now feels. It's thrown yet another twist into the story that I didn't see coming. In many ways, this season has seemingly done the impossible, taken a story with endless mysteries, naturally solved a great many of them over the course of the seasons, and now kept new puzzles intact right towards the end. Take cover! God level unexpected plot twist gets 2 wins!
死ぬか。
The passing of Zeke in what can only be described as the most unexpected of ways. This big guy just stuck him inside of his stomach after opening it up directly. I don't know what that is, who it is. Could it somehow be Levi? I haven't a clue. What is going on? Someone help me! Go on then. For the last time of this video, take a final win for this gorgeous scenery shot. I mean, just look at the sheer amount of detail in that. It's nuts.
どうやらより早く願えるほどより良き立場につけるらしいの。
Really symbolic that. Now they're being forced to wear armbands in their own country as part of a new group under the control of Eren.
もういい。
いや、よくねえよ。どう傷つけたのか話してくれ。
おい、もう十分だろ、ちゃん。
奴が正気だとしたら、何の意味もなくそんなことをするとは思えない。
Jean still being very intelligent in a scene also showing that he does still have a little thing for Mikasa potentially, but more important is how he thinks outside of the box like he does here.
悪魔どもに肩入れして裏切ったのはお前だろ。熊の末裔の芋くせえ女なんぞに鼻の下伸ばしやがって。てめえ殺すぞ！あのバイタは汚れた。
彼の非礼をお詫びいたします。
Whoa! So the guy slagging off Sasha to those in the cage got taken out by the blonde woman. Didn't see that coming. Must you keep shocking me every few minutes? Must you? Okay then, please continue!
無線で助けを呼んでもらう。壁内の侵入者が反応を示すよ。
静かに。君がエレン・イエーガーであってる。
She's just come into the room, she knifed the guy with Eren and is now holding a gun to his head, and what is even going on in this freaking anime anyway?
あんたは撃たない。始祖の巨人を殺すことは許可されてない。
Eren is so cool, calm and relaxed compared to how he used to be. Like he figured out insanely fast that she had no intention of actually pulling that trigger.
私はたった一人の家族である父に まともな医療を受けさせるため戦士になった。
Even giving a fairly side character like her, at this point anyway she pretty much is, a backstory and proper reasoning for why she's taking the actions that she is right now. Like I've said, Attack on Titan Season 4 has done a wonderful job of truly not only telling an excellent story, but its characters' stories too.
子供が生まれなくなる。そうです。それがジークの安楽死計画。
This 2-minute long scene giving us a full brief on the plan thought up by Zeke and how he intends to rid the world of Titans slowly but surely over the course of no more than 100 years in reality.
ところで、まだ始祖の力は使わないの？ジークはどこ？
示せ。敵はどこにいる？
Loads of internal body juices, but that other time with the hard jaw smashed up from the floor out of nowhere and took off a few Eren limbs.
私はマーレを信じてない。
のろしが上がっている。
Oh god, this is so good! Now this airship's incoming and a full-on attack is taking place and there's about to be a fight between the Titans and I can barely take it, so take 2 maximum wins for this turn of events.
ピークとガリアードが奴の位置を暴いた。始祖の巨人だ。
And then, as if that wasn't good enough already, they spring the main characters from the enemy nation across the sea into the battle back over here on the island, bringing everything and everyone together into one location at long last.
来いよ。ライナー。
Rotating view like it's no big deal whatsoever. They can take a final win here for an amazing 4th season, and I'm also blown away by the announcement all of a sudden of another season covering the final episodes to Attack on Titan. I will be so very happy to return in what looks to be, according to my anime list, January 2022 for the next season, and to continue to cover it till its final end. Please be sure to leave a like and a comment, it would mean a lot to me, and let me know if you enjoyed the video. You can also check out my Patreon, link down below. All funds go to help out me and my wife and our dogs, so anything is appreciated, and in return you can pick anime I cover on both channels, get exclusive content and much more. Thanks so much for watching everyone, I had such a blast on this, even if editing it did take so long, it was still a joy to watch, and of course I'll see you in whatever video you choose to watch next, or in the next season of Attack on Titan.
ピクシスの返答がどうであろうと奴を切る。完全武装の兵士が30名。この森を上から囲んでいる。やはりヒゲ面野郎は俺たちの敵だった。それが判明した時点で人質に手足をつけとく理由はねえよな。これをようやく証明できる。
Nathan Burr, Bird Without a Word, Tyler Warner, PK Fan, Ali 50, Ryan Anderson, Isael Caldera, Chris Harris, Jonas Stahl, Manolo Saucedo Munoz, Luis Hernandez, Kim Munt, Jason Davies, The Element Taylor Wars, Manuel Morales, Carnito, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Blitzcloud, Keeper, Steelers, Amir Keenan, Sentimento, Juffa6263, Master Tank, Kevin Nelter, Brendan Kriya, Storm 970, Gaten Gaza, Matt the Marshmallow, Kaj Borzelman, Jordan Samuels, Sean Graves, The Epic Amanda, Crimson Shadows, Kyle Farmer, Oliver Gable, Kinio, Adora Blue, Matthew Ditzworth,